Get that fucking trash out of your life. You have legacies to build. We grew that business from 3.4 million to 17.1. Horsepower, not horse shit. You want to be the parent that's an ally. They don't need another fucking friend. Not everybody's cup of whiskey. Toughest advice for the toughest businessmen. Be relentless. I shot a video a couple of months ago in Naples for a client of mine, a book buyer, a gentleman by the name of Gene Morisset. And Gene is an entrepreneur, an American entrepreneur who was struggling with throat cancer. Tough stuff. The treatments for throat cancer, my sister is a head nurse. She said the treatments for throat cancer are worse than the disease itself. She says the radiation treatments when a person has throat cancer, she said, it's brutal stuff. And it certainly takes a champion to get through that type of thing. I got a note from Gene's son a couple months ago, and he said, you know, my dad watches your daily videos, and he ordered and read your book, and he loves your messages every day. However, he's struggling mightily with his radiation, with his treatments. And it's interesting, he asked me, he said, is it possible if you could ever shoot a video or send a message to my dad that would give him a little extra inspiration? Because he's thinking of stopping the treatments. He's thinking of surrendering just before the finish line, which is understandable when it's so brutal. You know, it's so brutal. Do I want to do this anymore? Do I want to go through this anymore? So I replied to his son that I would be happy to send a video, which I did. I shot a 1 hour message. I made a short story long, and I probably bored Gene to tears. But nonetheless, I shot a video to him personally, and then I packed up a box, a FedEx box, and wrote him a short note, put in there some books, some t-shirt, I think, a wristband, relentless wristband, and all the weapons of mass production, and shipped that off to him as well. He was in the hospital. And I got a note a few weeks later that he had watched the video, he had received the package, and how much it had meant to him. And, you know, it's interesting because he had the integrity, the character. Talk about a top level guy. He ends up sending me a package, which I didn't expect and he didn't need to do it. So he sends me a nice note, some Dunkin' Donuts gift cards, and some great books. I mean, phenomenal books. The Art of Living, stuff like that, which I've all gone through and appreciate greatly. But it just shows the difference in champions versus pretenders. Here's a guy, you know, he's 70, he's battling for his life, and he takes the time to send me a thank you card and a thank you package for sending him something. And I got an email last week. I was thinking, how's Gene doing? I wonder, he had a few more treatments to go. He was struggling. It was difficult. It was hard. How's he doing? You know, he beats this. He's got 30 more years, another massive chapter to write with his kids and his grandkids and all of that stuff. If he can just get through this dark time. So I got an email sent to me from Gene last week saying that he is cancer-free. Man, that was good news for my soul, and certainly is good news for his entire brotherhood and tribe and sisterhood and family. wow, cancer-free after a battle like that. And now, because he's in good physical, mental health, he's looking at, you know, an entire new life in front of him, I'm sure. And I don't claim to have had any impact on any of that. I just love to share good news. You know, the people that get the credit, Gene gets the credit, his family gets the credit, his doctors and nurses get the credit for just amazing news. But this is the kind of stuff, if you're going to have a life of impact, I have a saying, no service, no success. Through your business or through your personal life, if you don't serve other people, you're never going to have any success. You can make all the money you want. I don't care how much money you have, whether you have a lot of money, I don't care about anything like that. But if you don't serve other people through your company, if you don't serve other people in your private life, if you don't serve the people that you've been called to serve, and that's different for every single person, then trust me, when you get near the end of the road, you're going to realize you've lived a life of no significance. Maybe you raised a family, maybe some of them are doing well, that stuff is all important. But to me, the red bow that ties it all together is the service of other. Contribution, making a difference in other people's lives with no expectation of return. Giving without an expectation of return. That's why I'm on this 10-year mission to help 1 million men build the badass world of their dreams. That's my mission. I don't want to sell more insurance policies. I don't want to start up more barbershops. I didn't want to win more hockey championships. I wanted to do something unique that spoke to me. And I wanted to help elite men, generous, driven men, you know, over the age of 45, married with children, grandchildren, small business owners. I wanted to help men like you literally transform their lives and build the world of their dreams. I want to help you live life and do business on your own terms. Nothing loftier than that. So when I hear stories from guys like Gene, I'm just like, wow, there's a guy now who can focus on the next chapter of his life. He's got to continue to up-level his health, but yeah, like the perspective he must have that none of us can have unless our life has been put in danger by something like cancer or heart disease or diabetes or a serious accident. He now has a new perspective that only he could ever communicate, where it's like almost a born-again experience, I'm sure. And that every day actually is a gift. That's a great slogan, right? Every day is a gift, attitude of gratitude. But for a man or woman who quite literally wasn't sure if they're going to make it any longer, wasn't sure if they were going to live, that's got to be something that's at an all-time different level, where actually every day is a gift, where attitude of gratitude is part of their DNA now, because they saw the end and they almost, you know, Father Time was knocking on the door. That's got to be the gift of all that pain and suffering. That has to be the gift. So, great news that I want to share with you. I just think that if you're on the right track as an entrepreneur, if you're serving people through your business, maybe you're helping homeless people, maybe you're working with the food bank, maybe you're working with the Rotary Club, maybe you're helping children's literacy programs like Jeff and Una Roy, maybe you're helping young entrepreneurs, maybe you're raising funds for big brothers and big sisters, maybe you're mentoring young entrepreneurs. Whatever it is you've been called to serve, whomever it is you've been called to serve, it's just that's your road of significance. And once you have significance, that becomes your legacy. So no service, no success. No success, no significance. No significance, no legacy. So as you can see, it all comes back to one thing: contribution. You're running your company, why not help other people at the same time? You're doing a business promotion, why not help other people at the same time? You're sending out a newsletter, why not help other people at the same time? You're building an email list over the next year, why not help people at the same time? You know, why does it always have to be about us and money? When in fact, our happiness, our peace of mind is connected to contribution. Help other people when we're helping ourselves. So it was great to get that email, and it's great to have that type of mail. That's something I told my mastermind guys, my world builders and my champions. I said, you know, the type of mail that you receive, I call it white mail, physical mail, packages, letters, paper and ink mail, thank you cards. The type of mail that you receive as an entrepreneur tells me a lot about what type of entrepreneur you are, what kind of businessman you are. If I went through your white mail over the last 6 months, what would be in that white mail? I'm not talking about bills. I'm not talking about, you know, invoices and things like that. I'm talking about how much of your physical mail in your mailbox is thank you cards, thank you letters, people acknowledging your kindness, your empathy, your compassion. How many people, how much of that stuff in the mail is stories from great people like Gene Morisset's of the world? I mean, every day of my life, and it's one of the true gifts that keeps me going, is every day of my life now on this 10-year mission, I receive what? I receive emails from Leanne and Marc-Andre from men who have stopped drinking, lost 70 pounds, changed their marriage, reignited their marriage, reconnected with their children. They've used email to double their business. They've started serving people in their community. They've reconnected with themselves. They've improved their mental and physical health. They've started drinking water. They've curated all of the vampires, time and energy vampires, out of their world. So when I get emails and faxes like this and letters almost every day, it's just fuel and gasoline for me. But it also is a reminder and a litmus test that I'm on the right course. If I'm not getting any feedback, if I'm not getting any emails, if I'm not getting any white mail that's talking about success stories or lives that have been transformed, then what the fuck am I doing? It means I'm not doing a very good job. So for me, it's a way of holding myself accountable that I'm in the life-changing business. I'm in the life transformation business. I'm in the world-building business. And when I'm not hearing from clients and brothers who are changing their world, then I need to start doing something else. It's time for me to do something else. So think about that, and think about what's your mailbox look like. What does your physical mailbox look like? What does your email box look like? Do you get packages from time to time? Do you get thank you cards, thank you letters? If you're volunteering, if you're serving, if you're teaching, if you're coaching, if you're helping, if you're a leader in your community, this stuff isn't automatic. Not as much as it should be, by the way. I mean, for all the stuff we do as entrepreneurs, it's very rare that we're thanked, but you still should. If you're doing enough, you should be receiving this kind of correspondence from people that you've helped. So it still is a measuring stick. Look at that beautiful flag on my daughter's trampoline. I put theirs that specifically, and then we have the Canadian flag up here on the pole. Where are you, Canadian flag? There you are. And yeah, back to the American flag. There we go. So when Emery jumps on that trampoline, she can think about one of the two greatest countries in the world. So my congratulations to Gene and his family, and I'm grateful to his son for contacting me. It was an honor to shoot that video. It was an honor to hear that story. It's a privilege to have a man of that stature as a client, as a brother in my brotherhood. And it's just, there's so much good news out there that needs to be shared. This was something that I definitely wanted to share with you. We live in the greatest time in history, 2023. You and me, we're awash in abundance, trillions of dollars of opportunity. We are awash in wealth, abundance, and opportunity like never before. 7, almost 8 billion customers, online, offline. We can shoot a video like this and send it to our friends. We can send email every day. We can, we can create newsletters in hours and days, not months. The technology we have, if it's our servant and not our master, it's just endless. So there's no excuses for not doing well. There's no shame in being down, but there's great shame in staying down. And a man like Gene, he just shows you the difference, right? It's like, I'm not staying down. I'm down because of this illness, but I ain't staying down. Great example for us today. I know it's a great example for me. So there must be something in the water. There must be something in the water, because I'm getting all kinds of, I don't get them, but Marc-Andre does, and Leanne. I'm getting all kinds of emails about my Email Millions Mastermind Coaching Program. Are the doors locked for the next year? Well, the thing about my mastermind programs is every month I open the doors for a couple of days for new people, bring in some fresh blood, 5 new entrepreneurs, 5 new business owners. So we're in the first month of the Email Millions program, and I got a wonderful group of amazing elite guys and gals. So I'm going to open the doors for a couple of days here for 5 new members. Emailmillions.coach. It's my honey that brings in the money email program. I write 52 emails for you this year. I show you the software to buy, how to build a list from zero. I teach you how to write the emails, when to send them, what day, what time, how to write them in 10 minutes. And I do a live training every month, but I literally hold your hand this year. Everything I've done in email to sell $150 million in product services, email was the honey that brought in the money in my barbershop, my hockey team, my coaching program, and my insurance business. It's always been my number one go-to weapon of mass production. So with that said, over the next year, soup to nuts, I'm going to hold your hand, give you one-on-one coaching, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. It's like having your own personal ATM machine. Literally, you can sit down for 10 minutes and you can write yourself a swimming pool, or you can write yourself a new vacation, or you can sit down and write a couple of emails and write yourself a new vehicle, or you could sit down and write yourself a trip to Italy like we're doing in July, or you could sit down and write yourself a new kitchen renovation or a vacation home. That's the power of building a list, emailing the list and building a relationship, and then selling that list your badass products. That's the power. Literally, you own your own personal ATM machine. So for those people that are asking about, are the doors going to open again? They're open now. Emailmillions.coach. 5 men and women, and then I'm done for another month. Emailmillions.coach. Go there, sign up. I write an email every week. Like I said, I do a live training and a whole bunch of other stuff, and we got a really good group. I'm going to show you how to build a list from zero, how to mail the list, how to create a relationship with the list. Everything's soup to nuts. And if you're a one-man band or a one-woman band or a newbie, well, this is how you build your business. You build it with an inexpensive email list. You don't have the money. You don't have the money for cold traffic on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. You don't have the money for paper products yet. So I'm going to show you how to subsidize all that with the honey that brings in the money. But you better move your ass now, because I'm going to keep this open for a couple of days and then I'm going to slam the door shut again. I already have enough guys. And whether you invest the $97 or $147 a month, it's not going to change my trip to Italy. It's not going to change the vehicle I drive. I'm still going to live in Canada and Naples. It's not going to. So I'm doing this because I have a passion for this. I have a passion for writing emails. I write them 365, so I better have a passion, or I better go do something else. Emailmillions.coach. Remember to do what we do when you get home tonight. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. If they're not at home, make sure you pick up the phone and they hear your voice every day. A text doesn't count. A message doesn't count. An email doesn't count. I've been with that age group up to age 30 in pro hockey and amateur hockey. You think your kids are raised at 24, 25? They're not. They may be independent, which they should be. They still need to hear their dad's voice. Your wife needs to hear how much you love and respect her. She needs to hear that every single day. Leave her notes, send her messages, send her emails, buy her flowers, date her. And with your children, just constantly be there. Stick your nose in their business. You're their friend, not their ally. They already have enough friends. They don't need another BFF. They need a dad. They need somebody who's there to protect them, to stand up for them, to teach them, to be an example, a contagious example. Be that man. Show up at 6 p.m. when you walk through that door, and when the king doesn't rise, the kingdom dies. Make sure you're showing up, present, mentally present, you're there. And nothing more important when you get home tonight to hug your family and tell them how much you love them. A day will come sooner than later when we'll talk to our queen for one last time. We'll talk to our daughter, our son for one last time. Those are the two certainties in life, except for death and taxes, is that things change and things end. Things change and things end. We'll never know when the end is coming, so let's make sure every day we have that habit of hugging our wife and our children, our grandkids, and telling them how important they are to us and how much we love and respect them. You'll never regret that. That's significance. That's living a life of legacy. 2 words that changed my life, emailmillions.coach. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words. Are you up there? What's that? Hip, hip. Hip, hip. We've been doing that since she was 2. Hip, hip, hooray. And if it's not strong enough, I go do it again. So, hip, hip. There you go. Life is a gift. 2 words that changed my life. 2 words that'll change yours. Be relentless.